Hello good people of the internet and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who haven't been here before, hi, my name is Alma. I hope that you stick around. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? And we're actually living through a pandemic. What? It's been quite the year, so how you doing? Personally, I'm not gonna lie, this year has really wreaked havoc on my mental health. And I hate the word struggling, I have been dealing with some mental health issues. Because of this pandemic, I did hit the infamous wall around Christmas time. And yeah, it's been quite the year. So like I said, it's been a hot minute since I posted last. And there has not only, like I mentioned, my mental health, but I have been lacking inspiration. I've lacked motivation. And I kind of feel when we entered the pandemic, I was like, how can even anyone make videos right now? And I'm like, we are in a pandemic. So that's a reason. And then I also had some technical difficulties when my computer decided not to work anymore. Then a certain store is being total about it, not wanting to fix it. And then of course it's been like the lack of motivation and trying to come up with something new, trying to make something
talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same.
So you know, that's been hard. But with that being said, I'm very thankful for the network that I have around me that has done their best to keep my head afloat. And this spring I've also started school again, and I just handed in my last assignment for this term last night. So I felt inspired. Besides, there are so many exciting things happening on the work front, and I can't wait. It's gonna be such an awesome summer. Fingers crossed, especially now that we're getting vaccinated and things like that. So we do see an end to this pandemic. In the meantime, I want to create this space right here for inspiration and all around good feeling.
Very nice.
So with that being said, today's video is my go-to work look using products from work. And if you like what you see, then please subscribe. Since we are using masks at work too, I show you how I get my makeup to stick throughout the day. And if you want to know that, then please keep on watching. And until next time, bye.
Okay, yay if you're still watching. So the first thing that we're gonna do is take the Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Skin Protectant Cream and put it all over our lips, because my lips have been through it for the past year with the masks. The next step will be priming, and I'm using this Forever Skin Veil with SPF 20 by Dior. It hydrates, it also blurs, and it makes the makeup stick all day, and has quickly become one of my favorite go-to primers. The next step in my holy trifecta of primers against masks is the Dr. Brandt Pore Finer Primer. I of course focus this in my T-zone, but I also focus it around my mouth where my mask will be, and I really feel like this has helped me keep the maskne at bay. For the last step of the holy trifecta of primers is the KVD Shake Primer. Now this is actually an eyeshadow primer, but because it has an amazing gripping power, it is a grip primer. I like to pat that in where my mask will usually sit, and what's left on my hands I apply to the rest of my face as well. Now moving on to foundation, I'm mixing the Forever Skin Glow by Dior and Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation by Shiseido. The reason why I picked these two is because, well, one, that I'm not a shade match to any of them, but together they are awesome. They both have a medium to buildable coverage, and they also last all day. When I have blended out my entire face, I use what's left on the sponge for the ears, and I also go over my eyelids just to prime for some eyeshadow later. Then to conceal and don't feel, I'm using the Forever Skin Correct, again by Dior, which has quickly become one of my favorite concealers because this contains 86% nurturing ingredients, and I use this just to highlight and cover up some dark circles. This also blends into the skin so beautifully and has a very good coverage. Then of course I always advise to set with some powder, and this is the Anastasia loose powder, and I pull up those wrinkles on my forehead and set them so that they don't crease, and I go over my entire face very lightly with this powder. And making sure the makeup actually stick, and for some more coverage I'm going in with the Lock It powder foundation by KVD on a very fluffy brush. Remember the Shade and Light palette? Yeah, they're sold in duos now, and I have the medium duo, and I'm gonna go in with that highlighter powder and just highlight a little more underneath my eyes before I go in with the bronzer, of course, and I bronze up my life. Even though I've been cooped up with assignments this spring so far, I want to pretend that I've gotten some sun. Then for some blush, I'm going to take the blush called Ginger in the Blushy Trio by Anastasia and just, you know, blush it up. I'm also going to do some quick nose contouring. Bad habit, I know. Remember this palette? I was so psyched when we got this in store, and it has been a favorite palette of mine for years. As you can see, I've already used up that Moonstone shade, so I'm going in with the shade Summer and just, of course, you know, highlighting my entire face. Then I'm gonna go off camera and do my brows, and boom, they're on. And even though I did them off camera, I want to show you that I used this trio, the Brow Powder and Brow Freeze by Anastasia, before I go in with some Lock It setting spray by KVD and just setting my entire face before I move on to eyeshadow. And what is up next? Of course, you guessed it, eyeshadow. And I'm gonna scoot you a little closer before I go in with the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Latte palette, which is my favorite go-to palette. And this is also the palette that I show most customers when they ask for a palette with eyeshadows. First, I'm going to go in with this beautiful terracotta shade, which is called Solstice. And of course, I'm gonna blend that very sloppily through the crease just to make that beautiful transition. And of course, we can't forget that lower lash line as well. Next up is this dark brown reddish shade named Spirit, which I stamp very precisely in the outer corner of my eye, and I just work on it there for a little while, and when there's a little left on the brush, I work it through the crease and down towards my inner corner and just blend it out so we don't have any, you know, harsh edges. And now for the star of the show, which is, you know, always the star of my shows, this gold beautiful shade named Firefly that I put on the entire mobile eyelid that I've left blank. And I'm always in the market for a good gold shade, and this really ranks very, very, very high up on my list. And of course, yes, we have to have a little show-off moment before we go on to the next shade, which is this shade named Destiny that I use to highlight my inner corner and also a little on the brow bones. Then, of course, what look is complete without mascara? This is the Lancome Idole Lash, which is a brand new mascara actually by Lancome, and it has a gel consistency and it just coats the lashes so beautifully. And of course I could have stopped there, but for anyone who knows me, I need to add some, you guessed it, lashes. And I'm gonna go off camera and do that, and bada bing, they're on. So what's next is, of course, lips. And I'm taking this KVD liquid lip, I believe it's in Bow and Arrow. And I use that sort of as a lip liner before I add the lipstick in the shade Kiss by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And that, good people, completes the look. And if you made it this far, then thank you so much for watching. Now cue self-indulgence.
Put your hands to the sky if you catching a vibe. We ain't gonna stop for nothing.